Hi, I'm Mr. Cambra and welcome to my Padlet. Today on my Padlet we're going to be discussing uh, intellectual property and specifically plagiarism. We're trying to focus on the skill that says that we should ethically use and reproduce others' work and that we need to acknowledge authorship. So whenever you use someone's work, you need to give them credit. Just like you hope that if someone uses your bright ideas, they give you credit as well. Now, over the years, I have seen some pretty interesting uh, times when people have used other people's work and taken credit for it, and it's been kind of silly almost. I've had a student who did a book report, and rather than give me their actual work, they plagiarized the IMDb summary of the work. Well, IMDb is the International Movie Database, and so they gave me the summary of the movie complete with actors' names, which was not what I was looking for when I was looking for a summary of a book. So we want to make sure that we avoid silly things like that, and even more nuanced opportunities where you might accidentally use someone else's work. So we need to have a firm understanding of what that means. So there's 10 different things for you to go through on this Padlet. The first three are lessons on intellectual property and plagiarism created by Crash Course. Now, you may be familiar with Crash Course videos, which often are hosted by young adult author John Green or his brother and inventor Hank Green. These Crash Course videos are hosted by Sam Muller, and there's three of them. There's one that gives sort of an introduction to intellectual property. The second one continues and it talks specifically about plagiarism, and then the third one goes on to talk primarily about exceptions to plagiarism. So in other words, opportunities when you can use other people's work and it's not considered plagiarism or stealing or copyright or an infringement on intellectual property, but it's actually allowed. And these are exceptions such as fair use, which teachers often take advantage of. So there's three videos for you to watch there. Once you finish those videos, on the opposite side of our main skill, we've got another three videos that are kind of more fun videos to look at plagiarism. But to make sure you have a firm grasp on what plagiarism and intellectual property is. So there is a Schmoop video, and if you've never seen Schmoop before, Schmoop are outstanding educational videos that specifically focus on well, they're educational, like I said, they focus on things like English and grammar and that kind of thing. Okay. After you've watched the Schmoop video, there's a video called Times I Plagiarized. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes for me, I find that the best way for me to understand something is to get an example of it. Don't give me a definition, but give me an actual example of when someone did that. So there's a video called Times I Plagiarized. After you watch that video, there's actually an SNL sketch about plagiarism. Now, since it is SNL, you can bet that there could be there's a couple of words in there that may be a little touchy. So you use your best judgment. If you're easily offended by language, don't watch it. But considering that you're high school students, one word here or there is probably not going to be that big of a deal. I've heard you all in the hallways. So after that, there is a game to learn about plagiarism called Goblin Threat. So there's a goblin trying to attack the school, and you have to prevent him from doing so, and the answers that you have to give deal with plagiarism. And then on the last three links that you have to go to are links with tutorials and resources for you when you're trying to write and make sure you don't plagiarize. So one of the primary ways that we don't plagiarize is we cite. We cite our sources. We say this work came from this person, and I want to make sure that you know that. So one of the best websites to go to when you're trying to learn how to cite appropriately is Purdue University's Online Writing Lab, or the Purdue OWL. They have a nearly limitless number of links that you can check out to learn different things about citation, whether that be an MLA format or APA format or Chicago/Turabian format. There's quite a bit that you can learn from their website about citation and the appropriate ways to do that, both in text and in your works cited page. There's also a website called the Cult of Pedagogy. There's a link there from them, and that actually has a bunch of different activities you can do to practice to make sure that you know how to cite and how not to cite, and when you're allowed to use other people's work and when you're not, and how to introduce other people's work. And the very last link there is how to recognize plagiarism, and that site's full of tutorials, but what that site has that I really want to be the culminating activity is it has a test. So you can go online, you can take that practice test there, and see if you've come to understand the ideas of plagiarism or not. Okay? So we've got 10 different links there for you, 10 different ways to make sure that you really understand the concept of plagiarism so that we don't ever have to worry about you plagiarizing on any of your works. Now, here in the junior high and the high school levels, we work with you to help you see where you've made mistakes with citation. You may lose some points, but until the later grades of high school, it's not going to crush you because we're trying to help you to understand. But once you get up to college, that grace for plagiarism is it's dissipated, it's gone, okay? And you can get in severe trouble from plagiarizing. So we need to make sure that you know how to do what you're supposed to do. So I hope you'll enjoy these activities. I hope that you'll get a better grasp of what plagiarism is. And the discussion question that you're really going to want to talk about there at the end is, what are some common everyday examples of people plagiarizing that I'm familiar with? And what are some examples of people giving citation or giving credit that I'm familiar with that maybe are out of the ordinary? It's not like an essay or a research paper. It's just what people are doing every day. So I hope that by the end of this, you fully understand what plagiarism is. If you're still struggling, please feel free to email me or come on into the library where we can talk about it, because this is one of the things that I'm meant to be an expert on, and I hope that I can provide you with every bit of information that you need. Okay? Have a great day.